What is going on? You are listening to TAGSPodcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast, celebrating 6 years of podcasting. This is episode 461, and I am your host, Stevie, alongside Jeremy Ross Lopez. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm good. How are you?
Really good on my last day here in Puerto Vallarta. Doing really good. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, joining us is Kodi, Maurice, Doggette. How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darling. We're doing wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Excellent to hear on this first Monday in May when we record it. This drops on the 2nd, of course. But I got to ask you, though, Jeremy, I know you're very excited because in New York is the first Monday in May, the Met Gala that happens every year. And we're always excited to see the fashion. This year's honoring Karl Lagerfeld. And just tell the people what they can expect tonight, and then it's an exhibit that happens after it, correct?
Yeah, so it's like the biggest night in fashion, and it's a sit-down dinner and performance, usually a concert by certain celebrities picked by Anna Wintour, and she invites
to say that.
Well, just in case, I mean,
just in case.
Yeah.
And she invites, she handpicks designers, and then the designers get a table, which costs $300,000 for a table.
Is that all?
It's $50,000 for a ticket if you'd like to join. And the designers invite a table, I think, of around 10 people that they can bring and dress for the Met Gala. And so it's a new costume exhibit every year. And this year's honoring Karl Lagerfeld. So, of course, there's going to be tons of Chanel, and I'm sure you'll see lots of black and white and tweed, and just a lot of dedication to who Karl was as a designer.
I love it. And people can then, so obviously you can look up all the pictures online, but then you can come to New York, and the exhibit actually begins tomorrow for the general public, correct? And then you can watch it. I don't know how long it usually lasts. Is it a year?
Yes. Yeah. It's usually till, I think they start maybe a few months before. So they'll close the exhibit and then start building for the new year. And I think that I saw somewhere in an interview that Anna's like 3 years ahead. So she does, I think, switch them around based off of like what priority is. So I think with Karl's passing, she had a theme and switched them around because she plans a few years in advance so that they're well prepared.
Very exciting. All right. Well, yeah, I know. I can't wait to see the fashion myself because I live for this day too. And yeah, keep up with that. I'm sure you can follow at J Ross Lopez on Instagram, and you'll be posting some of your favorites, correct?
Definitely.
Nice. All right. Well, let's get into this episode here. And our favorite couple that tied the knot, Lukas Gage and Chris Appleton. I remember when we first reported on them, it was like, is Lukas even part of the community, LGBTQ plus? Because he hasn't officially ever come out. But now he's married to Chris Appleton, hairstylist to the stars. And they apparently did tie the knot. But now the latest, and this is like our favorite couple, we just need one of those cute nicknames for them, like Benifer or one of those things. And I was trying to figure one out for them, but I couldn't. The latest, I know, their names are too long. I don't know. If you guys can think of one, let me know.
What about by their last names? What about Gappleton?
Oh,
right? Oh, that's pretty good.
That's right? I love Jeremy. That's pretty good.
No, I mean, it is a good one. I love that.
Thank you.
Well, the latest that we are reporting on is that they both got matching tattoos. I want to know what you guys think of it. 4/22, that's the day that they actually got married, April 22nd. Tiny on their ankles, and they posted a picture of their very cute feet and the 4/22. I mean, What did you think of this matching tattoo that they did, Jeremy? Would you do this with your partner and beau?
I don't think I would do it because I think it's a little bit corny, but I
Yeah.
also think that it's really quick for them to get married. I think I said that before.
Right.
And I'm kind of still in shock. And the fact that it was initiated by Kim Kardashian at the chapel in Vegas.
Right. I saw that.
And so I don't know. It's kind of fun and in the moment at the same time. So I hate to be like that judgy bitch that's like,
it's kind of on this show.
It's kind of like really, really short in a short time frame to get married. When, like you said a few weeks ago, we were like, he's not confirming it, the young one, and is it a thing or is it just tabloid talk? And then now they're married.
When you get Kim Kardashian and they're posing by the jet airplane right out of Vegas, you know it's serious. But I don't know, Kodi, would you do this? Because the tattoo alone, I do agree it's a little corny. And if you're going to go big. And 2 little digits or 3 digits, 422 to me seems a little silly. It's like, what, you don't remember the day you got married? But I mean, not to rain on their parade. What are your thoughts, Kodi?
Yeah, I agree with Jeremy. I don't want to be a bitch, so I'm going to let go of all of that right now and be like, I love. Say what?
Since we got it out of the way.
Well, I'm right there with you guys, but I'm going to let go of that and I'm going to just say I love and I'm happy that they're happy. But I disagree with you. I think if you're going to get a tattoo of your partner, of anything about your partner, go small or be able to turn it into something like wino, like Johnny Depp did with Winona Ryder.
Good point. I mean, it just doesn't show a lot of confidence in the marriage, I guess, but but you're probably right. I mean, it could be any day. Remember that was the day that you got married to that person, and yeah, I don't know, but
and you can cover it up easily.
Correct. Good point. Well, all right. Well, in staying in celebrity news, we wanted to talk about not one of my favorite singers at all, Meghan Trainer. Do you guys like her?
I like her.
I think some of her stuff is catchy. I'm not like the biggest fan, but
right. Well, she was just interviewed on, I think it was a podcast. It must have been a podcast because she talked openly about her husband's huge penis, cock. She says, my husband's a big boy. And literally she said, my pussy's broken, though. I have pussy anxiety, she exclaimed, prompting the host to ask, yours is little as his is big? And she said, yes, Trainer exclaimed, to the point where I'm like, is it all in? And he's just like, the tip. And I'm like, I can't do anymore. How do I fix that? Should I stretch? So the dear future husband singer, who's 29, commented that she wished she could make Daryl, her husband, who I think is famous, Daryl Sabara, who was a child star, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, in Spy Kids, the movie.
Okay, yes, Spy Kids. Did your little brothers watch that or something?
I did. I watched it with them.
Well, now when you rewatch it, you're going to have a whole new eye for...
I'm kind of shocked that she was open like that. I just can't picture her in a sexual sense.
I mean, in one way, I know she's so goody in some sense. Yeah. And do we look at her differently for being a girl, or is it just the fact that it's Meghan Trainer that we're looking at her, Jeremy?
No, I don't mind it. It's enlightening a little bit, and it's fun.
It is a lot of fun, I guess. I mean, Kodi, what are your thoughts? Because do you think she's just like, because most gay men would be like, really, bitch, like, just shut up and take it. This is what most of us dream of. I would not be complaining.
Yeah, I agree with Jeremy. I think that she's not really out there with her opinions in her life, and we don't really know a lot about details about her life and goings on. So for her to come out with this is a little bit shocking to me, but whatever, girl. I'm glad. You know what? Do some stretches, get in there. I have a butt plug you can borrow. I'll wash it first if you want to get it in there, but do your thing.
She just needs some good gay friends and ones that listen to our show. Like Dr. Goldstein always says, for your hole, it's just a different hole. I mean, do some stretches with it. Use like butt plugs and you can actually relax it. Don't have anxiety over it. Embrace it is what I say. So, All right, girl. Anyways, staying in celebrity news, and this one I'm really loved hearing about it. So Dwayne Wade, who is married to oh my gosh,
Gabrielle Union. Yeah.
Gabrielle Union, who we adore. He plays for the Miami Heat basketball, in case for those non-sports fans. He just admitted the other day that he packed up his bags with his family and left Florida because I don't know if you guys know this, but they have a transgender daughter now. By the name of Zaya Malaki Aramis Wade. And they have been very vocal about their daughter, her transition. And he went on to say, well, the interviewer asked him, what do you have to say to some of those state legislators, talking about Florida, who maybe have your jersey in their closets, who came and brought their kids to your games to cheer for you? And he said, that's another reason why I don't live in that state. Talking about Florida. A lot of people don't know that I have to make decisions for my family, not just personal individual decisions. I mean, obviously the tax situation is great because in Florida, you don't pay taxes. I believe in another story I read, they went back to California where it's a 13% tax that they have to pay when you own property there. Having Wade County is great, but my family would not be accepted or feel comfortable there. And so that's one of the reasons why I don't live there. I thought this was amazing. I mean, Kodi, when you heard this, what were your thoughts on, I mean, do you just love this family?
Oh, they're so amazing. Him and his wife, and even Zaya's natural born mother. I think they're all amazing for supporting Zaya this way. And I think that we need more parents out there just supporting their children through anything. It doesn't matter what they go through, especially through if more trans people had these types of parents, then the suicide rates would be so much lower. And I think that this is just great. I love them.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, you know, they obviously have a lot of money and can probably afford to pick up and move out. A lot of people don't have that luxury. And Jeremy, I know we have a mutual friend that lives in Florida that moved from New York. And I was actually asking him recently in San Francisco, okay, now what's the deal? You're in Florida. We all know what's going on. And he was very frank to me about, yeah, I know. To be fair to this friend, he had his property before a lot of the legislation that is so anti-LGBTQ was enacted. So, you know, he can't just afford, and he has a condo there. But he said, yeah, it does bother him on many different levels. I mean, I know you have family in Florida. Do you think about these things when you visit there? Does it make you, or what's your thoughts on it?
I do, but I also try to keep to just spending time with my family when I visit them, and we do beach days and boating days and stuff like that, but it's not big on spending time in public settings often. And when we go to dinners, it's also like a lot of times my uncle that I visit there is retired, so it's a lot of afternoons where restaurants are a lot less busy and early dinners because it's just the time that they are used to eating at. And so, I mean, I'm not necessarily nervous, but I'm also not happy about it being in the climate that it is, and they're not happy about it either. I mean, they were talking about they have a local gay bar and they live in Naples, and they were talking about how the local crowd wants to like ban the drag shows and stuff like that, and they don't agree with it at all. But you only have so much say, and I mean, I'm glad that they have a point of view, but they're still not necessarily in control.
Right. Yeah. I mean, kudos to Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle and their daughter Zaya for making, because they, you know, and they're a Black family too. So I think it makes even a bigger impact for their actions. So we love them. Okay, well, getting into some sex news, don't get scared, but there's a story about oral sex which may be fueling an epidemic of throat cancer. Okay, don't panic, because it's a smaller story that I found. The US and UK are suffering a throat cancer epidemic, and experts point to oral sex as the culprit. Dr. Hisham Mehana from the UK's University of Birmingham said 70% of cases of throat cancer are caused by human HPV, a normally harmless virus that is spread sexually and has been linked to multiple forms of cancer. Dr. Mehana said people with multiple oral sex partners have an up to 9-fold increased risk of throat cancer. They also wrote in the conversation, over the past 2 decades, there have been a rapid increase in throat cancer in the West to the extent that some have called it an epidemic. This has been due to a large rise in specific types of throat cancer called oral pharyngeal cancer. I just butchered that, guys. So,
it's a great darling.
Okay, thanks. I don't want to. It's a small story, and I don't know how much there is to it. It's not going to stop me at all. And a lot of people pointed in the comments section, this is why you get the HPV vaccine, which I got actually via Dr. Goldstein several years ago. Thank goodness. But I don't know. Does it worry you, Jeremy, when you hear this story? Is it going to stop your oral sex capades or?
Yeah. Not necessarily, but I also am I do love eating ass, and that falls in the realm of oral.
Right.
So, I mean, it is kind of worrisome and a little scary, but I don't know if it would stop me.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think we need a little bit more research on this. Yeah. This is one story that's come out, and I think they're speculating a lot in this story, so that's why I don't want to alarm, but it was in the news by a legitimate source. And so, I don't know, Kodi, what are your thoughts on this when you hear a story like this? It's like, last year was monkeypox. Now, do we have to worry about this?
I know, right? When is it going to end? Every year they come out with something new. But yeah, I read about this too. I saw an article about this, and I think that they mentioned that it was 6 oral sex partners that you had to have that would increase the risk of this, and I got past that a long
Thank
time
you.
ago.
Last week here in PV for me.
Right? That's a regular Friday night for a gay man. So yeah. I can't really worry about anything that like this when it's already something that I'm already way past. So
right. I mean, somebody else wrote in the comment section too, like I'm way past that many moons ago, and they are a person of a certain age. They weren't too worried about it. But let's just keep our eye, put it on the back burner, and what we'll do here is if we see more stories on it, we'll, of course, report on it. But let's just not panic just yet. Enjoy your cock. Staying on a hot... Yes, exactly. You guys, in our little... we record this on a platform, and I put a little link for you if you guys want to take a look at it in the chat section. But it's about a guy, very sexy guy that has an OnlyFans who is by the name of Craig. They're calling the story Red Hot Craig, on his evolving into a daddy form. And it's a really cute article. I will post this on TAGSPodcast.com because he talks about how he got into... He just recently posed for a calendar series called Red Hot Calendar Series. He has his own
calendar.
Oh, do you? Oh, I didn't know this.
I've seen it's been going on for years. I think maybe since the early 2000s they started it.
So to kind of describe this guy to everybody, he's kind of a gingery looking guy, very sexy, super sexy. My gosh. What in this interview, he really talks about, he's a dominant in general and has many of his fans essentially have wanted more of that, including having him call them the F word, faggot, which we were talking about on a recent show. And he wasn't sure if that was okay, but he polled his OnlyFans followers to see how they felt about me using that word in a sexual context. And overwhelmingly, they said they wanted to see that more from him. So he's embracing it. He's embracing being a super dominant, and he loves all the comments. He seems like a really cool guy. The one thing he was saying when asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years? He said, in 5 years, I'll have hit 40. And I do wonder if people will still be into my content then. I hope so, because I really enjoy making it, and I'm quite happy to transition into the mature daddy role. I'd love to still be doing well with my OnlyFans. I mean, I think he'll be doing, 40, come on.
I know, right?
But it does bring up the question, I've embraced my transitioning over the years to different ages. I mean, I think Kodi and Kodi, were doing the twink difference. We were posting, we participated in Tags Live last week where
I look the same.
Okay. You definitely look the same. Just like, I think I definitely look the same, where we were talking about a lot of people when they changed, like one of my friends showed me a picture of him when he was younger, and I'm like, oh my God, he's very handsome today, but doesn't look anything like I was.
Oh, really?
Nothing. Like it's also like he had hair back then. He's shaves his head now, and that can really change a look. I think this guy's going to be fine. I mean, Jeremy, have you embraced, say your twink era into your early 30s, and what has that meant for you?
I think it's like an evolution for sure, and I'm just so different from who I was then, but I'm also just learned by life experience, and I'm happy and proud of where I've gotten to from who I was then.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have to. I mean, what other choice do you have, right? I mean, what's the alternative? I think embrace it and, be the best who you can be. Kodi, what are your thoughts? I know we talked about it a little bit on the other show, but you're definitely not a daddy for him, but you're older than Joe. And how have you embraced, your transition into your 40s? Maybe you can give Craig some advice.
Yeah, I love it. I think that it's great. I think that as you grow older, your tastes evolve and they should mature just like you do. And I think that me filling out a little bit more and the things that are going on with my face, like a couple more wrinkles here and there, not too many, girl. Okay.
There's an ointment for that. There's an ointment for that.
I know, right? Oh my God, I got to get some retin-A. Oh my gosh. But yes, I think that as I've grown older, everything has matured and I am feeling it. You just got to lean into it and you have to do the best that you can with what you're working with. And I'm loving it.
Absolutely. And as this guy, Craig, should, he's very sexy. I might have to follow him. I'll post him on TAGSPodcast.com. Tags Podcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast, is sponsored by BetterHelp. Hey guys, a couple years ago I started meditating. In particular, I started intention setting. Setting an intention for the day ahead, like connecting with those I come in contact with, or being in the moment. I can honestly say this daily implementation has changed my life to direct and prepare myself for very productive days that are drama-free. And most importantly, it keeps me happy. Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially because we're always growing and changing. I'm an editor in my work life, and I utilize the same principles in life to edit my life, make changes, implement new productive behaviors. All of this has served me quite well. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way we do until we talk through things. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. A few years ago, I was in couples therapy with my boyfriend because we were having trouble communicating with each other, as well as having some jealousy issues. We both learned coping mechanisms and, most importantly, learned better communication skills. If you've thought about therapy, then BetterHelp could be right for you. Everything is done online and it's designed to be super convenient while working with your schedule. All you do is fill out a brief questionnaire so you can be matched up with the therapist that's right for you. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/tags today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/tags, TAGS. Hey guys, I was just at the adult bookstore down the street getting my monthly supply of lube and saw those erection pills they sell. The ones that usually are at the front of the store. Maybe they're at the counter before you check out. Have you ever wondered what the heck is in those things and are they even safe? And we all know there's a plethora of products out there to keep you hard and ready, but are they safe? Many of them raise your heart rate and your blood pressure. And when drinking is involved, when we go out, we may not be consuming the best pills to do the job of keeping us hard and ready for a night of fun. Joy Mode is here to save the day like a superhero we all needed. Whether you think you need help or not in the bedroom, Joy Mode is like a pre-workout but for sex. Joy Mode makes natural and science-backed sexual wellness products for men. The Sexual Performance Booster is designed to support erection quality and firmness and sex drive. It contains clinically supported doses of arginine nitrate, L-citrulline, Panax ginseng, and vitamin C. It was created with best-in-class scientists and biochemistry PhDs. After taking the Sexual Performance Booster, blood levels of arginine nitrate will increase, which will directly promote nitric oxide production, penile tissue relaxation, and increased drive. Meanwhile, the antioxidant action of vitamin C will protect nitric oxide from oxidative degradation, which enhances the blood flow promoting activity of nitric oxide. Collectively, these effects enhance sex drive and blood flow to the penis, resulting in better performance. Joy Mode was created because the products on the market are terrible and they knew they could do better. Prescriptions come with all sorts of side effects and the over-the-counter gas station pills are sketchy and fraudulent. But a lot of guys take both because they don't have a better option. Simply tear open the sachet and mix with 6 to 8 ounces of water, just like your favorite electrolyte packet. For best use, consume anywhere from 45 minutes to 4 hours prior to sexual activity. You'll notice better blood flow, better erection quality and firmness, and increased sexual energy and drive. So you want to spice things up in the bedroom and boost your sexual performance and do it naturally without prescription drugs? We have a special offer for the TAGS audience. Go to usejoymode.com/tags or enter TAGS, TAGS at checkout for 20% off your first order. That's usejoymode.com/tags for 20% off your first order. Thanks, Joy Mode. Moving on, a recent Reddit thread that went viral asked gay guys to reveal the PG actions that immediately get them in an X-rated mood. So essentially, what do guys do that they're not trying to be sexual at all, that when you see it on the streets, maybe they're the handyman. We had a handyman here at the condo earlier, and he did one of the actions that was seemingly innocent, but really turned me on. And it was one that I think a lot of people can relate to, is when they're hot and they just pick up their shirt for a quick second to wipe their forehead, or they're climbing up a ladder, which is what the case was earlier today. And I got like a peek of his underwear, and it looked like really sexy, cute underwear. And I was like, he wasn't trying to be sexual at all, but I was totally like turned on. Other people in the thread wrote adjusting his junk. That one never works for me, actually, because I don't know. I always think it's like I don't know, like for whatever reason that doesn't. Somebody else wrote coaching me in something. Well, this one I relate to. So while being kind and friendly about it. So in other words, I had another example. We were on the rooftop barbecuing, and a big group of us, and it wasn't even anybody that I was attracted to. He was a straight man too, but he really knew how to barbecue, and he was teaching me in particular. And I elicited his involvement in barbecuing. He was like sitting down. He's a former chef. But when he was standing next to me and he was saying, no, you got to do this. Put a little oil here. Turn this up higher. Otherwise, your steak's not going to be done right. And I was getting kind of a little hot and bothered. Okay, it could have been the barbecue. But honestly, I really like being coached in something non-sexual can be a turn on. Jeremy, do you have anything that guys do that turn you on, but isn't really, it's more PG?
Not really, no.
There's nothing you can think of that really.
No, to be honest, I it's not ever really like PG.
Oh, you have. I love it because you grew up with porn and you just want to see the ass.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
okay. It's actually can be a curse, I think, in many ways because you need to. I have to sometimes turn it off. I mean, it could be something so innocent. Kodi, do you have things when you see guys do certain things that you're like, oh my god, it's so
I
turned
was
on?
Yeah, I was just thinking, and I was on the train one time, and there was this guy across from me reading a book. I mean, he was super hot to begin with, so there's that. But he was just reading a book and looking pensively and thinking really hard. And I was like, wow, he's really, really sexy. So I think that I would go with reading a book or bending over. If you're bending over to
Oh.
tie your shoe or anything that will show me that ass, then we good to go. I'm ready.
I mean, I must be plagued by this because I just think it was me as a kid where I was young Stevie and I just thought, why am I having these feelings? So every little thing, it could just be somebody listening to me intently and following along, and they're thinking as I'm telling them something that could really turn me on too. Engagement like that, or politeness also can be a turn on too. But the junk thing, somebody adjusting their junk really doesn't. I mean, how about gray sweatpants, Jeremy?
Oh, love gray sweatpants.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and in New York, we have so many people walking down the streets in gray sweatpants. Now, I'm sure the short shorts are coming out, and so that's always sexy. Guys on bikes is really sexy too. I could go on, you guys.
And what about playing basketball? The guys playing basketball.
To me, it
Yeah,
would be
that's kind of hot.
soccer. Because
Oh.
I'm a leg guy, and we have a couple soccer fields where I live that I often will walk by. But I get it, basketball too, definitely. The jerseys for sure. Okay, well, we have to move on, and I wanted to get some advice. This one is crazy, you guys. When I first read it, I was like, are you kidding me? It was started off with roommate stole the boy I had over. What should I do? Okay, follow along. So I have this friend roommate who just did something wild and not sure what to do. I had a guy over for the night, and we were chatting on the couch when my roommate went to shower and he knew we were there. After he was done, he walked across the living room completely naked, like we weren't there. Later that night, when we were in bed, he comes in, assuming I'm asleep, and whispers something to the guy and then picks him up and carries him to his room. It took a while for me to process what happened and didn't say or do anything. I don't know if I should confront him about it or what to do. It was such a dick move and was kind of embarrassing. After he's acting like nothing happened and haven't brought it up. Any ideas or thoughts? I mean, if we were to believe this is true, which it's a Reddit thread and people took it seriously. Jeremy, what would your thoughts be if, first of all, just the first part, somebody came out? Is this why you don't have gay roommates anymore?
Yes, totally. I don't know. I would definitely be furious and like super annoyed with my roommate, but I have lived with a bunch of gay roommates and all super nosy and flirty and all of that, so I could totally see this actually happening. And if it was like a really good friend, I would be really pissed.
I would be really pissed too. It's kind of like crossing that line. But us gays, sometimes we have no shame, I will have to say. What are your thoughts on this, Kodi? Would you just be livid the whole walking out naked when your roommate never does that, and all of a sudden, because you have a boy over?
Oh, I would be like, put on some damn clothes. And then if they stole the guy, I would fight both of them. If they would have to call the police, I would be out in handcuffs because it would be over. This blatant disrespect. I cannot understand how somebody would take a guy that you have there and right in front of you. And this guy was so dumbfounded that he couldn't do anything at all. I would yell at both of them. It's time to find a new roommate, boo, because this is just leaps and bounds too far.
Yeah, maybe I would probably be in shock if my roommate did do that, walked out like that naked. But the minute he came in and whispered into the boy's ear, I would be, oh, hell no. I would walk right behind them and put an end to it immediately and say, get out and find a new place to live. Yeah, no, that would not fly at all. Yeah, get a better roommate. So this next person wrote and they want advice. What's the deal with the nudes? Hello, I'm 40 and recently started using the apps. I'll be honest, I approached it with a bit of distance. I just wanted to go see how it goes with a few guys without thinking too much about it. If they end as a one night stand, so be it. I'm no expert, so I asked for advice. The conversations on Romeo or Scruff usually go a bit of chat, go on Telegram, they ask for more photos. I feel like a monkey being inspected by a scientist. But I send anyway, random photo. We agree to meet, but not yet. After 2 days, they ask for nudes, everyone. Someone I know for certain are legit because I recognize them. I usually say maybe after we meet, but I have no intention anyway. I'm not Jennifer Lawrence, but putting my nudes on the internet seems like a bad idea. Is there something with Jennifer Lawrence? So I don't get it very much. I'm not very good looking. Just watch. He just says, just watch a porn. Is this normal? Am I being a prude? Will I be ghosted after the first meeting? Jeremy, do you find it necessary to always send nudes? And is that a requirement in 2023 on the apps?
I think it depends on what app and the context of your conversation, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. So if we're talking about he listed a couple. He listed Romeo and Scruff. What about Scruff?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I kind of think so too. I mean, I think, when I've chatted on these, you just kind of do in general these days. If he didn't say he was trying to go on dates with any of these guys. I don't know, right. Kodi, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I used to send them left and right. I did not care. I was like, but however, I would never have my face in the nude. I would always have like a comparable body shot where they could see that it was my body. But if I had my dick out, then I would never have my head and my dick in the same picture.
Ooh, that's a good one. Great advice on that. The other thing is, didn't we talk about this in the past before where there's disappearing photos in some of these?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can send a picture and they'll go away. At least when I was using Grindr 2 years ago, or Scruff or what have you. Maybe it's on Scruff. I'm not quite sure. But we can test it out with you, Steve.
Yeah, we can. I'll see, and then we can really get But I think the name of the game right these days. I love the idea of just don't put your face out there, and because people can't grab it, and then they now know. I mean, I don't really care personally, but this person does. So, I think that's where we stand on that. And lastly, when somebody is recently asked on a Reddit thread, when dating, what do you consider taking it slow and how long is that phase for you? For me, I consider it just getting to know each other as friends and going on dates, but just having the intention of getting to know them and enjoying each other's company. No sex, keep it to public meeting and just seeing it if we vibe well. Taking it slow is an interesting one. I mean, I was dating a guy that I think we were kind of taking it slow because I told you guys before, we met on the naked beach. So I saw all the goods early on. Mm-hmm. We went on several dates and we only had sex like once. It ultimately didn't work out between the two of us, but I feel like we didn't get so complicated in it that now he still follows. Like he was liking some of my photos and videos that I was posting here in Puerto Vallarta. I've done the same to him. So if I see him out and about, it's not going to be not a big deal. So I think we did take it slow. We realized we're probably not that match, but we are still, dare I say, fond of each other. What are your thoughts of taking it slow, Jeremy? And what's your idea of taking it slow?
Well, I definitely think it's good to take it slow if you're actually trying to pursue like a long-term relationship with someone. But like we talked about before, I do think sometimes it's inevitable that like sex comes first and then the dating and seriousness comes after. Right. But I do like the idea of having a friendship and getting closer to a person that way, even if you did end up having sex at the beginning, but getting to know the person better with time evolving from a friendship into a relationship is really great.
I agree with you. I also think it's a little tricky, though. It's like this tricky balance that you kind of have to navigate because you're right. You don't want to it's so easy to have sex with somebody early on, and then you've got that out of the way, and you're like, do I really want to get to know them more, or was it a one-off? On the other hand, if you just become friends for too long, it's friend zoning somebody, and then you're wondering, like, are we even compatible? Are we ever gonna want to fuck? What's going on here?
And I think the communication of it all is really important.
Good point. Yeah, like keeping that, just being blatant about it. Like, I think
being just open about like how you feel about the whole thing is always best, because it's always good to know if you're on the same page with the person or if you're not, and know that early on as well.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting with the guy that I was seeing, that I often wondered, like, I know we're attracted to each other, but we're not having sex. And then after we weren't dating, my neighbor actually met him via the apps on one of the Grindr or one of them, and in his profile he said he's not that sexual. Like, I'm using that. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but my neighbor said he said in there that I'm like, oh my God, that may explain why we weren't as much. Like, so, but instead, if I had just maybe had the conversation, like you're saying, just be bold and upfront, I could have got that out of the way early on, and then maybe, who knows where it would have gone. But it was just weird because we are such a small community, and I heard it from my neighbor on something that I really wanted to know more about. But anyway, Kodi, what are your friend? Yeah. Okay. What are your thoughts on this, Kodi?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's definitely a balancing act, because there is always, for me personally, there is always this fear that I'm going to get friend zoned. So I don't even know if I'm capable of taking it slow, quote unquote, because I am the type of person where I wear my heart on my sleeve. So I jump into things face first, literally, with my mouth open for dicks and
gaping holes all and above. I love it, and it worked out for you. So you just got to figure out. Yeah,
but it is a balancing act. So
absolutely. Oh my gosh. And you know what? Lastly, I just wanted to shout out to, we reported on the international successful drag queen Heklina, who sadly passed away a few weeks ago. And San Francisco is really going to honor her. It's going to be Tuesday, May 23rd. They're going to close down the Castro Street, which is going to be amazing. And from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, they're actually going to be doing, from 6 to 8, they're going to be doing tributes to her in front of the Castro Iconic Theater. And then those that have tickets can go into the Castro Theater, which is sold out, where they'll do an even grander memorial to her. But actually, they're going to live stream it on the streets, so you can watch it in San Francisco as well. And that's all happening Tuesday, May 23rd, for the legendary, beloved Heklina, and may she rest in power. I'll post this on TAGSPodcast.com, because if you are in San Francisco, check it out. They had a 10,000 goal to put all this on, and they actually are right up. They're almost meeting their goal. So I think it's going to be a great tribute with some beautiful messaging to Heklina. So
it's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So much fun, you guys. As always, thanks for playing. You can follow my co-host on Instagram. Follow Jeremy, like we said earlier, at JRossLopez, because I know we're going to see some Met Gala looks, his favorites. We're going to hold you to that. Yep. Follow Kodi. He's a life coach at KMD Coaching, or his personal account at Mr. Maurice. Follow me at Iam_Steve V, or the show. Everything's at Tags Podcast, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, at Tags Podcast. Guys, and in the meantime, continue having
hot,
gay
sex.
Yes.